By and large, we believe that the president is tackling it correctly now.
President Tinubu has done well in strengthening the economy, but needs to do more on security, Olubadan says after private meeting with the president.
The Tinubu administration did not invest just in skills. We invest in digital security and standards.
Vice President Shettima advocates homegrown solutions to Africa's economic problems. And also tonight, Kano State Governor formally resigns membership of New Nigeria People's Party as Rivers High Court adjourns Governor Fubara's case indefinitely. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Lami Ali. Joining me from Lagos is Awal Yusuf Jibo. Benny Adams is our business news segment, on our business news segment. So Benny, how was the market today?
Well, the market is a little bit slow, but profits are still being taken and investors are doing well. And more cheering is the fact that regulatory agencies are doing more to clear fraud around business environment. We'll give you details of this and more in the course of the bulletin. And
Bade Adele, back from AFCON with our bronze, is going to bring us up to speed in the world of sports. So what's the latest, Bade?
Well, I mean, we still have, we have some news when it comes to the just concluded AFCON. And of course, the weekend is here. So attention turns to league football.
So remember, you can join this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media platforms displayed on your screen. Let's get started. The Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has expressed hope that President Bola Tinubu will address the current insecurity challenge confronting Nigeria in parts of the country. The Olubadan was in the State House on a visit to President Tinubu. It was the first meeting between President Tinubu and the traditional ruler since his coronation on September 26, 2025. Their private meeting lasted about 30 minutes. Oba Ladoja, who was installed as the 44th Olubadan about 4 months ago, told State House correspondent Musba Wahab that he was on a thank you visit to the president for attending his coronation ceremony in Ibadan. The former Oyo State Governor commended President Tinubu's efforts at strengthening the country's economy, leading to more revenue for governments across levels.
No. And they are able to meet their commitments than what we had when we were governors. So I believe that by and large, the economy has to be fixed and is being fixed. We will hope that by the time it's leaving 2031, we will have put Nigeria where all of us will be proud of.
He, however, advised the president to double down on his efforts towards tackling security challenges and ensuring food security across Nigeria.
To look at the situation of health. It's not. It doesn't pay Nigeria that any little thing will run abroad. It doesn't pay Nigeria to continue in that line. We should have standard hospitals where we can treat our people. But the major problem we really now have is the problem of insecurity. Farmers find it difficult to go to their farms. And it is already coming to the south also. I don't think it is insurmountable, but by and large, we believe that the president is tackling it correctly now.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken a decisive step in Nigeria's diplomatic engagements by approving the posting of 3 high-profile ambassador designates. This comes after 68 ambassadorial nominees were screened and confirmed by the Senate. Garba Muhammad Nata'ala tells us more.
The postings reveal a clear focus, decisive and a strategic one, in preparation to hit the ground running towards enhancing Nigeria's diplomatic engagements and follow up bilateral talks with major allies. To the whole of Paris, Ambassador Ayodele Oke, a seasoned diplomat, is now the ambassador-designate to France. Colonel Latif Are, a military strategist, is the ambassador-designate to the United States of America, and Ambassador Amin Al-Hatu, previously served in South Korea, has been named the High Commissioner-designate to the United Kingdom. An analyst weighs in on these strategic postings.
We also know that it takes time for these ambassadors to get what you call the agreement, for countries to accept them, and then they present their letters before they become effective. This may also take another, couple of months. Better late than never. It doesn't matter whether your discipline does not matter here. But the government on its own should also take Nigerians along. Let Nigerians feel the impact of governance.
So far, the president has directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to formally notify the governments of France, the United States, and the United Kingdom. It is well known that career ambassadors are professional diplomats who rose through the ranks of foreign service, while non-career ambassadors are typically political appointees selected for a specific reason or their expertise outside diplomacy. The fact remains, with this redeployment, diplomacy is set in motion and a new phase to protect and shape the nation's national interest abroad. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
We go to the World Economic Forum in Davos, where Vice President Kashim Shettima is advocating homegrown solutions to Africa's economic problems, emphasizing innovative approaches for growth, development and prosperity on the continent. This was at a high-level Accra Research Initiative meeting held on the margins of the ongoing 2026 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, saying Africa is now the pulse of the world's demographic and economic future. The Nigerian Vice President welcomed the vision of the Accra Research organized by the President of Ghana, John Mahama, describing the initiative as bold for Africa's shared future, built through African-led cooperation and rooted in sovereignty and self-definition.
We are African. We have learned to carry our poverty with dignity. We are offering a high quality, cost-efficient and scalable extension of our own workforce, as well as investment to continually develop such workforce. And I can imagine the question in every CEO's mind here. Can we trust the infrastructure? Can we trust the data? As a government, we understand that trust is the new currency. That is why the Tinubu administration did not invest just in skills. We invest in digital security and standards.
And this is why Africa must be responsible for its destiny. Today, we face a different pandemic, the pandemic of unfulfilled potential. Millions of young people have no jobs, health systems that collapse at the first crisis, economies that extract our resources but build nothing long-lasting.
That is why the Accra Research has come to be, to inspire leaders to stop complaining about the system that has changed or is changing, and to build a way through it. Across much of Global South, you see a similar distressing pattern.
House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports that the essence of the forum is to galvanize support for governments in Africa to rethink their strategies for transforming economies and addressing the numerous challenges confronting the people. Now, the federal government has promised to support the Yakubu Gowon University, formerly known as University of Abuja, to uphold standard and align its operational capacity of impacting knowledge with global requirements. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, gave the assurance when he received the management of the university, led by the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Hakim Babatunde. Salihu Abdullahi Wanara reports.
Assure you of the commitment of this ministry to to help the University of Abuja or the Yakubu Gowon University wherever it is possible to do so.
To sustain the university's standard of impacting knowledge and boost human capital development, the newly created Faculty of Media and Communication, with more than 1,000 students, will be the first beneficiary of the ministry's wealth of knowledge and services.
Seasoned broadcasters and eminent media gurus like your good self will give us some form of institutional support to help us to thrive, especially now we are heading towards our accreditation.
And I assure you that we'll continue to serve you, we'll continue to make our doors open for you. And when it comes to the issue of facilities, let me assure you that we'll look at that and see how we can support this faculty to grow.
Reforms in education, including the establishment of the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, are to strengthen institutional capacity as catchment areas to sanitize the nation's media ecosystem.
And in an age where you have misinformation, disinformation and fake news all over the place, and again with the challenges of AI, there must be some capacity for people to discern what is good news and what is not, what is fake news and what is real, so that it will enhance people's capacity to really understand what is being churned out.
This collaboration is to seek support and encourage community service to raise the university's academic standard in line with global demand. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Big win for Nigeria. After a decade-long pursuit, the country has finally secured its World Skills membership, which positions Nigeria for global labor market competitiveness and paves way for World Skills Nigeria to fully operate. Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, emphasized the need to bridge the gap between Nigerian classrooms and international global standards. World Skills is seen as a key driver for creating an agile workforce that drives industrialization and economic growth. The National Working Committee, chaired by Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, is planning a national launch to boost visibility. This committee boasts impressive stakeholders, including NBTE's Professor Idris Bogaji as vice chairman and heavyweights from the private sector.
It signals our readiness to benchmark a skills development system against the highest global standards, equip our young people with world-class competencies, and position Nigeria as a leader in skills innovation on the continent of Africa.
In November 2024, at that time, NBT didn't even have the 4,000 euro to pay the fees. Ms. Akerun had to pay that fees, and we paid her later. All other members here, Honourable Minister, are very passionate about skills.
They are, because countries are competing in terms of skills, and countries know that without world skills, they cannot evolve consciously to meet the global standard that education requires. I think
the focus shifts to leveraging world skills to strengthen links between education and the economy, driving Nigeria's growth and development. Now, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is one of the eminent Nigerians to be conferred with Honorary Doctor of Science by the Tai Sholari Federal University of Education, Ijagun, Ogun State. The conferment of these degrees coincides with the 17th convocation of the institution, scheduled for 29th January 2026. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
All is now set for the 17th convocation of Tai Solarin Federal University of Education in Ogun State. The convocation, with the theme Excellence in Education and Societal Impacts, comes at a pivotal time for the institution, which was originally established as State University and recently transformed to the federal status. The institution is leveraging the ceremony to highlight its growth and contribution to Nigeria's education sector. Senator Oluremi Tinubu is being honored in childhood education for her philanthropy through the New Era Foundation and Women's Health and Education Foundation, focusing on youth development, environmental health, and women's empowerment. Adedakpo Olusegun Abiodun, Ogun State Governor, will receive the award in education management. His Ishaya agenda has profiled infrastructure, education and youth initiatives, including the university's federal transition. Olusegun Oshoba, a veteran journalist and former Ogun State governor, is being recognized in political science. His administration's emphasized development and democracy, notably setting the bill that birthed the university as a degree-awarding entity. The conferment of these degrees underscores Testfield's commitment to integrity and excellence. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
This is the Network News. More stories in a short moment. You're welcome back. Justice Florence Fiberosima of Igbo High Court, Rivers State, has adjourned indefinitely the suit filed by Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, challenging the impeachment processes against them by the Speaker and 26 other members of Rivers State House of Assembly, as well as the clerk of the House. The late counsel to Martin Chike Amewule and 27 other House of Assembly members, S.I. Amen, a senior advocate of Nigeria, informed the court about the appeal, which has been entered and orally applied the court to stop further hearing pending the determination of the appeal. The oral applications were not opposed by the late claimant's counsel, Paul Orikolo, SAN, and Lawrence Ukochacha, who is the counsel to 28 to 30 defendants in the court, who are Uko Jumbo Sokari Goodboy and Oru Bienimiga Timothy. Ruling on the application, the presiding judge, Justice Florence Fiberosima, adjourned it indefinitely following the proof of two separate appeals which have been entered, a decision which is said will enable the appeal court determine the suit before it. Now, Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has resigned his membership of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, in a letter delivered to the DISO board chairman of the party in Gwale local government area by the Director General Media and Publicity, Kano Government House, Sanusi Bature Dawakin Tofa. The governor said his decision was informed by deepening internal crisis within the party and the need to safeguard the broader interests of the people of Kano State. Governor Yusuf is resigning today alongside 21 members of the Kano State House of Assembly, 8 members of the House of Representatives, and 44 local government chairmen across the state.
Decided to withdraw his membership with the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, at his ward, which is Diso ward in Gwale local government area of Kano State. This resignation is solely personal due to the internal crisis the party is facing. And His Excellency, in the best interest of the good people of Kano State, decided to leave this platform at this time so that he can decide for himself another political journey. His Excellency is resigning along with 8 members of the House of Representatives and 21 members of the State House of Assembly, with the 44 local government chairmen in Kano State. And we will announce the next political destination of His Excellency in no distant time. Commissioners, at least 80–90% of commissioners, but the elected members of the House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and also elected local government chairmen are part of this decision, and they have all resigned today.
National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Felix Moka, is appealing to old and new members to participate in the ongoing e-registration exercise nationwide. He says existing members will validate and new ones will register with national identity number. The exercise aims to digitize party membership, boost internal democracy, and enhance data management. He urges Nigerians to register now and join Nigeria's progressive family. Minister of State for Works, Bello Muhammad Gurunyo, has given fresh assurance that the long-awaited Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway will be completed by April 2027, a development expected to boost connectivity, trade and economic activities across Nigeria's northern corridor. The assurance was given at a meeting of political appointees from the Northwest region convened to honor young party members whose grassroots mobilization played a crucial role in the All Progressives Congress victory in the 2023 presidential elections. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
The gathering celebrated the energy and commitment of the youths, widely acknowledged as a driving force behind the party's success at the polls. Beyond campaign promises, political leaders highlighted what they described as concrete achievements of the current administration, particularly in policies and programs aimed at empowering Nigeria's youthful population.
Prior to the advent of Nail Fund, when school resumes, all of us will be having palpitation. People from your constituency will be calling you registration fee. And these are the history of the past. We have rules that are being taken. We have a lot of things that we can say about this government. And we will say it. We are ready for the campaign and we know the thing is set.
Northwest gave the most votes and Northwest will give more votes in 2027 in
The APC national chairman and the Minister of State for Works used the occasion to rally members to actively participate in the ongoing nationwide APC membership registration.
We've enhanced our membership through the e-registration. We want to know our party members. We want to put face to those names that we keep hearing.
We have found a president that is committed for the unity of this nation, that is committed for the progress of this nation, that is committed to making sure that things get better, and they have started getting better.
The event also provided an opportunity to recognize members of the 2023 Northwest Presidential Campaign Council for their dedication and contributions. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The Presidential Community Engagement Team recently met with the United Nations Development Programme UNDP team in Abuja to explore ways to drive inclusive development in Nigeria. Now, the meeting focused on key areas like the UNDP Small Grants Program, the Integrated Smart States Program, and how the presidential team can support UNDP's community projects. The UNDP resident representative, Elsie Atafwa, praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's initiative in setting up the Office of Community Engagement, reaffirming UNDP's commitment to supporting Nigeria's development priorities.
That we have to do. I think perhaps just to say a few words, a few moments ago I was just having a meeting here, and the world is moving so fast that you just wake up the day and you ask yourself what's going to be next. And I think whatever it's telling us, at least from where we see things, is to begin to look a bit more internally and to see how we can support how we can support our people to push their development agenda forward. I don't think anybody else will do it for you. It has to be us to do it. And so increasingly for us, a lot more focus, a bit more internal to see what is it that the government is doing? What are the reforms that are taking place? How do we accompany the government agenda in an intentional way and being purposeful about it to say, okay, if it's local government, if it's energy reform, if it's fiscal reforms, how do we accompany that?
The meeting highlights a shared goal to strengthen community resilience and accelerate sustainable development, as well as promote community participation and deliver socio-economic benefits across Nigeria. We join Awal Yusuf Jibo in Lagos for more stories from Nigeria's commercial hub. Hello, Awal.
Welcome to Lagos. Minister of Works David Umahi has urged Nigerians to take collective ownership of public infrastructure in their environment and ensure its protection. He made the appeal while viewing real-time footage of vandals arrested through this newly deployed CCTV monitoring system. Larry Belay has details.
These 156 cat-eye reflective lights meant to enhance the aesthetic of the road were being pried open by these three vandals on the Third Mainland Bridge and were caught in real time by the CCTV monitoring team.
They saw them, that something unusual was happening, you understand, but before the policemen could get there, they were already at the point of parking and escaping with it. But because the item were glittering items and all that. So even as they put it in the bag, they were still blinking.
The vendors, who claim to be scavengers, popularly called Bola, failed to give coherent answers to the questions directed at them. Minister of Works, David Umahi, while appreciating the police for their diligence, expressed his discomfort over the indifferent attitude of some Nigerians towards public infrastructure.
We had a case of, Second Niger Bridge where the expansion joints were removed, criminally. In our route, Abuja to Kano, you see parapets, New Jersey, being totally destroyed because they are looking for pieces of iron. And it's the same way all over the country. This stealing of cat eyes, which is a decorative item at the Third Mainland Bridge, it's not the first time. We are able to catch them because of installation of CCTV.
The minister directed the State Controller of Works to ensure the vendors are prosecuted and warned intending offenders that the eagle eye on the Third Mainland Bridge is ready to thwart their nefarious activities. In Lagos, Larry Pileyi, NTA News.
And now to tax matters. As Nigeria rolls out the newly reviewed tax laws, questions and concerns are mounting over their impact on businesses and households. In Lagos, the country's commercial hub, the focus is on what the reforms actually mean and how they differ from public perception. The report. With the highest concentration of corporate activity in the country, Lagos remains central to the debate of tax. Authorities say corporate income tax still applies to profits, not turnover, with reliefs and exemptions for small and medium-scale enterprises.
The new rate is now for company income tax 30% today, development levy 4%, bringing everything to 34%, whereas previously we had company income tax 30%, education tax 2%, police 0.01%, and some other small percentages. But all of those have been consolidated, and I believe that from administrative perspective, it makes it relatively easy for companies to comply.
On property taxation, officials say the new laws do not introduce fresh taxes but clarify existing obligations, separating federal provisions from state and local property charges to address fears of double taxation.
The only thing that is being introduced is on the capital gain tax that has to do with proceeds on the sales of assets and property, which before now it's 10%. But has been increased to 30%.
The Nigerian Tax Act reduces the tax burden on low-income earners and in favor of increasing the tax burden on higher-income earners.
At Lagos ports, excise and custom duties on specific imported goods remain targeted. Authorities say the focus is on clearer classification and administration, not blanket increases, easing concerns over price hikes. Overall, regulators say the reforms aim to improve clarity, compliance, and fairness in taxation. And those are the reports from Lagos Network.
We now join Benny for business news.
Thank you, Lami. And talking business, it's a breakthrough for Nigeria's payment system that competes favorably with global peers in cyber fraud management, as persons of interest portal documenting the list of more than 13,417 persons involved in fraud cases have been made accessible for public use in the investigation of fraud incidents across the country. This was at the 2026 Nigeria Electronic Fraud Forum for 2026, where the Central Bank of Nigeria, alongside other stakeholders, say the effective fraud management is no longer about isolated controls or post-incident response, but about deploying end-to-end systems that combine real-time transactions, monitoring, rich data analytics, behavioral profiling, identity intelligence, and immediate action processes across institutions.
Impersonation and the use of false identity for fraud alongside long-standing gaps exploited by criminals across both banking and ATM networks.
System operational solidity and fraud controls have improved market.
The target is to see how we can get to 180 million Nigerian by the end of 2026. And when that happens, it makes verification more widely acceptable.
We are emphasizing the fact that
there is need for us to be ethical in our transactions and everything.
And now from Davos, in order to make sense of what has been a remarkable week in Davos, panelists talked about the economic outlook for the globe and what it portends in terms of growth. And here are some of the most remarkable perspectives from Christine Lagarde, President of the European Central Bank, IMF Managing Director Dr. Kristalina Georgieva, as well as the Director of the World Trade Organization, that is Nigeria's Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who all emphasize that the world is changing and countries must change along as well as diversify trade.
Debt has gone up, reaching 100% of GDP, sovereign debt, and growth is not strong enough. So we have a problem.
It needs policymakers to be, very attentive to what they do. The IMF is scrutinizing the kind of debt that is being incurred by sovereigns. I don't think that at the moment the corporate sector in the advanced economies is so heavily burdened with debt. I think we're more talking about the sovereign debt. And as I said, what is key is to indicate the strategy and the direction that governments adopt in order to keep control of public finance. That's, I think, even more important than the volume itself, which is a concern.
Some work we did, AI would increase trade by 40% by 2040. But only if adoption of AI is relatively equal. If it is not, we are going to create more inequalities, and that's where Christine's point is also valid.
Well, looking at the markets at this time, talking about Africa, the markets have closed for the weekend and the numbers are out, showing Nigerian exchange took a small breather this Friday after a busy Thursday. Investors seem to have slowed the growth pace with fewer deals and a slightly lighter turnover moving through the floor. Think of it as a market that is still massive, sitting on a 106 trillion value of investment that saw more of red than the green today, with 39 losers against 33 gainers. Union Homes as well as Morrison Industries were tops, both jumping nearly 10%, while the Nigerian market was cooling off. The blue chips in Joburg were also heating up, climbing by 0.76% to close at 114,357.72 basis points, while Namibia remains a steady pillar, closing at 2,240.49 basis points, reflecting a broader regional sentiment and acting as a reliable barometer for the Namibian economy. Heavy hitters. That's it. And business at this time for the weekend.
Thank you, Benny. Now to security matters. Troops of Operation Odwaka have cleared the Njali forest in Enugu, described as a hibernating ground for the independent people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network, terrorizing parts of the southeast. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa, on a media tour to the zone, brings us the details.
This is Ajali Forest in Eziagu local government area, about 2 hours drive from Enugu, the state capital. The ungoverned space provided safe haven for IPOP and ESN members, terrorizing the area and truncating socio-economic activities in parts of the southeast. In December 2025, troops of the 103 Battalion under Operation Udoka stormed the forest, destroying criminal camps and detonating IEDs.
A total of 8 camps were cleared and were able to neutralize and destroy the majority of their camps. About 197 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammo were recovered. We also arrested 2 of the IPOB members.
To enhance rapid response and easy access to the hibernating cells of the criminals, roads and routes are being provided.
We enjoyed the festive period. It was peaceful. There was no intimidation. There was no criminal attack. There were no kidnappings.
Continue to support the armed forces of Nigeria.
The general officer commanding 82 Division enjoined the residents of the area to see security as a collective responsibility.
Cyberspace has been very, very active, and we monitor it from time to time, and when necessary, we issue counter narratives also. It has been a major influence in the happenings in the southeast.
The Defense Media Operations Tour spanned to other parts of the country, from Ajale in Eziago local government area of Enugu State. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The medical director of Barodiko Teaching Hospital, Abdulkadir Musa Tabari, has confirmed that the 11 victims of the Kurminwali village attack who escaped from the hands of the bandits are in stable condition. He stated that the victims have now been distributed to various specialists for further medical treatments. In a press release made available by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Kaduna State, Ibrahim Musa, the medical director assured that the victims will receive maximum care and attention from health workers at the facility. Sports news and more after the messages. Do stay tuned. President Bola Tinubu congratulates the Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs, Kafila Togbara, on the conferment of a chieftaincy title on her, the Yeyeshewa of Lagos. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President's Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, says the Oba of Lagos, Rilwan Akiolu, will honor Ogbara with the title once held by Chief Kemi Nelson, who passed away in 2022. The President commends Ogbara for her contributions to Lagos State and the country, particularly her efforts to ensure the passage of legislation to aid women's empowerment and increase participation in politics. President Tinubu describes Ogbara's chieftaincy honor as well-deserved and wishes her a continued life of impact. Sports news with Bade is next.
Many thanks, Lami. Let's begin from the Nigeria Premier Football League as action returns this weekend, with attention turning to match day 22 games. On Saturday, Katsina United entertained Plateau United in the sole match of the day, with 8 fixtures scheduled for Sunday, as Kano Pillars are away to Wiki Tourist. Rangers International host Warri Wolves, with Shooting Stars and Bendel Insurance trading tackles. In other fixtures, Niger Tornadoes take on Barao FC. Abia Warriors are at home to Nasarawa United, while the concluding match of the weekend will see reigning champions Remo Stars clash with Kun Khalifat. Meanwhile, Rivers United head coach Finidi George has set his sights on a crucial victory when his side meets Power Dynamos in Saturday's CAF Champions League Group A clash at the Lever Wanawasa Stadium. Addressing the media in Ndola ahead of the encounter, Finidi acknowledged the pressure on both teams after failing to register a win in the opening 2 group matches. The Nigerian tactician believes the situation will force an attacking contest, with neither side able to afford another setback. Away from Nigeria, it's a massive offering in the Premier League this weekend as Saturday kicks off at the London Stadium as West Ham United host Sunderland, while Manchester City look to tighten their grip at the top against Wolves. Elsewhere, on Saturday, Spurs travel to Burnley, Brighton visit Fulham, and the late show sees Liverpool heading south to face Bournemouth in a vital clash for the top 4. Sunday brings the heat as Chelsea visit Crystal Palace, Aston Villa head to Newcastle, and the main event being the match between Manchester United and Arsenal at the Emirates. And to a bit of tennis now, Carlos Alcaraz stepped up his quest to win a maiden Australian Open as the overwhelmed showman Corentin Moutet on Friday to reach the last 16, while Aryna Sabalenka said she was emotionally all over the place in victory. 3-time finalist Daniel Medvedev battled through on day 6 at a warm and sunny Melbourne Park as did Coco Gauff. Top seed Alcaraz was never in danger against French 32nd seed Moutet, easing through 6-2, 6-4, 6-1 at the Rod Laver Arena in 2 hours 15 minutes. It was the Spaniard's 100th Grand Slam match and it boasts a remarkable 87-13 win-loss record, matching the legendary John Borg at the same stage of his career. And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Lami.
Many thanks, Buddy. Now, the family of Angelita of Umuri Nsuku Abatete in Idemili North local government area of Anambra State announces the passing of Associate Professor Benjamin Osita Dimma Angelita at the age of 82. Burial arrangements indicate that his remains will be interred on Friday, 30th January 2026, after funeral service at Holy Trinity Anglican Church in Nsuku Abatete. He is survived by his children, grandchildren, and extended family. And that ends today's Network News telecast. We thank you for watching. I'm Lami Ali. Have a beautiful weekend.